Okay, I've just got out of Campden now, and it's on the outskirts. A bit easier to talk now. Very busy there this morning. Loads of coaches there. Cheltenham races on this week. Loads of people hanging around there, staying in the hotels, etc. So quite difficult to talk. Started the walk from the market hall in Campden. And this is also quite famous now for the start or the end of the Cotswold Way. Starts in Campden and finishes in Bath, or obviously vice versa. The route I'm taking is from Campden. I'm heading up now, following the Cotswold Way as far as Broadway. Goes up over Dover's Hill, the famous Broadway Tower, down into Broadway. I'll then head across Charles Wickham, Wickhamford, Badsey, and back into Evesham. One of those places I've done before anyway. I'm just checking the GPS. Yeah, we're in the right route. Campden is quite famous in the Middle Ages as a small trading centre. Got a church, Roman Catholic church. Various schools there, from primary up to senior school or high school now. Next to the church you've got a row of almshouses, grade 1 listed, still in use today. Basically it's just quite an affluent market town, Cotswold market town in the north of Gloucestershire. I'm heading now up towards Dover's Hill in that direction, so I'll come back to you shortly. Just see Broadway Tower up on the horizon there, and that's where we'll be heading shortly. We're up on top of Dover's Hill now. You can just see ahead of me the trig point. Dover's Hill is quite famous actually for the modern Olympics. The early part of it seemed to start up here by a guy called Robert Dover in the 16th century. It's now owned by the National Trust. A bit of an amphitheatre down here as well. This is where it all kicked off originally. Strange games then they had, I think, shin kicking, tug of war, etc. Not like today's stuff. Beautiful views across here over the Vale of Evesham and all the surrounding villages. If we can get a bit closer, might be able to see a bit more. Quite quiet up here today actually. I think everyone's off to Cheltenham. Hang on, let's have a see if there's anything nearer. How good that's picking it up. I must get a better camera. Absolutely gorgeous view from up here. Sun shining. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I just got to the viewpoint up on top of Dover's Hill now before I head off towards Broadway Tower. Looking at this here, got Ilmington over there, Coventry that way, Stratford-on-Avon directly ahead there. And Birmingham, Pebworth, Ulster, Honeybourne, the Clent Hills in the background. To the left of that you've got the Brainclea Hill, left of that you've got the Tidderstone Clee, Worcester and Evesham, and there's just trees, you can't see anymore. So that's enough of Dover's Hill. We'll head off now towards Broadway Tower. Right, before we get to Broadway Tower, I'll give you a bit of information about it. It could be quite windy up there and the noise might affect the video. But basically, the tower up on top of up above Broadway, built in 1798 by James Wyatt, from an idea by Capability Brown, who was a very famous garden architect, landscaper. It was built for a guy called George William, 6th Earl of Coventry. It's open to the public and there's parking up there in a deer park. It stands on a beacon hill which is the second highest in the Cotswolds. In 1822, a press was installed by Sir Thomas Phillips to print verses of his manuscript collection. We also have up there where the Royal Observer Corps are based, and they've got an underground bunker which is used there from 1961 to 1995. I think it's a nuclear bunker because of the Cold War which was going on at that time. There's guided tours around there, on-site coffee bar and shops. I'll take a few bit of a video when I get up there. Let's say talking might not be picked up very easily. Just coming up over Fish Hill now. That's the old Fish pub. There was a pub many years ago when I was younger, now private residence. We're just going to head up now to Broadway Tower and I'll come back to you then. Beautiful Broadway Tower. Deer Park was in the background as well. I tried to film some deer. It's so windy up here you wouldn't have heard what I was saying anyway. I'm heading down now to Broadway. I'll tell you a bit more about that when I get down there. Still coming down off from Broadway Tower down into Broadway, and the views down here or from up here looking across, absolutely stunning. It really is beautiful. Now, I'll give you a 360 out, just have a look what the hell's around here. It's all on our doorstep. Absolutely beautiful. Weather's gorgeous. It's after yesterday, all the rain we had, and all across the Vale of Evesham. Stunning. I've just come up into Broadway now. It's a large village close to the Gloucestershire border. Actually called the jewel in the crown of the Cotswolds. There's many fine Cotswold stone houses here, many 16th century grade 1 and 2 listed buildings, and lies beneath Fish Hill, which I've just come down. The known history of the village is about 5,000 years old. It's one of the first settled sites in the United Kingdom. It's actually mentioned in the Domesday Book. It was owned by Pershaw Abbey. I thought it would have been Evesham, but it's actually Pershaw Abbey. Many shops and businesses here. One of the more famous ones was Gordon Russell, which is a furniture making factory which is now a museum. A couple of junior schools here. Many pubs and restaurants. It's very big in tourism. And there's also the world famous Ligon Arms Hotel here. St Egbert Church, which is 12th century with 14th century additions, is grade 1 listed, and St Michael and All Angels is grade 2 church built in 1839. And there's also St Saviour's Roman Catholic grade 2 listed church built in 1828, which was also a monastery. Well, I'll come back to you as we walk down through the village. Coming down the main street now. This is where basically all properties and shops are anyway. Beautiful sandstone buildings. Still coming down through the high street at the moment. And that is a world famous Ligon Arms over there. I'm not sure on the history of that. It was something I must find out about. What a stunning village this is to walk through. Absolutely beautiful. See what they call it, the jewel in the crown now. Swan Hotel there. Black and white place is the Broadway Hotel. And the shops and that just go straight up through the town. Full of tourists all the time. I've left the Cotswold Way now. That's where I was having my lunch in Broadway. And now heading towards Charles Wickham. I'll tell you a bit more about that when we get there. About a couple of miles down the road. I'll come back to you then. Bye. Into Charles Wickham now. What can I say about this? It's a small village situated in the Vale of Evesham, about 2 miles from Broadway. You've got St Mary the Virgin Church here, built in the Norman times, with additions in the 14th century. A spire was added in the 15th century and rebuilt in the 1830s, or partly rebuilt in the 1830s. Many different styles of house here: brick, black and white and Cotswold stone. It's actually in Worcestershire, the village now, but up until 1931 it was in Gloucestershire. I know they used to change boundaries around quite a bit. The village actually dates back to prehistoric times and more recently Roman times. They found many Roman artifacts in the fields around here. The village actually used to be on the route from London to Worcester as a Roman road. If you look around here, you'll still see the old medieval fields, the ridge and furrow fields. There's an old manor house and an old mill here, and I think that's pretty much it actually. And I'll be heading down through the village now and turning right across the fields path towards Murcott, a tiny little hamlet, farm, a couple of farms and a few houses, and that's about it there. Then on to Wickhamford. I'll come back to you shortly. Oh, I nearly forgot as well, there's a Charles Wickham Inn, which is quite a locally frequented hostelry, doing very good food. A few shots of the village, bit of Charles Wickham. Just coming past the village of Wickhamford now. The old pub up there's closed down a few years ago, thanks to Sandy's Arms. And about half a mile or so at the other end of the village, we'll come across, there's a beautiful old manor house there, and the church as well, just before we head out towards Badsey. Okay, just ahead of me there, beautiful old manor house. I haven't got all the details about it with me at the moment. If you look back on one of my previous videos, I think it was the one Honeybourne to Evesham via Dover's Hill, and I spoke all about that on there. It belongs to one of the big large families. I think it's a lot from Throckmorton, that family, I believe, or it was anyway. If you ever look back through the videos, and it'll all be on there. I will get the details again for in the future. Right, coming towards Badsey now, I'll give you a bit of information about it again. It's 2 miles east of Evesham, dates back to at least the Roman times. The first church there was built was a stone church in the 11th century, and then St James's, that's the name of the church there, grade 2 listed, was restored in 1885. Badsey was once owned by the Abbey of Evesham and had buildings there for the sick and convalescent monks. And there used to be several mills in the village. One was a silk mill. The industry around here is mainly market gardening, from the 19th century, when large farms were split up into smaller gardens. This declined after World War II, but still an area of agriculture. It has two schools, a school, two pubs and a shop. The one pub there called the Round of Grass, obviously named after the local delicacy asparagus. There's a half timbered manor house here, which is 16th century, which is grade 2 listed, and Alistair McGowan, the impressionist, he was born and attended school here. Just coming down past Ashdown Farm now. I mentioned before, that's a Second World War reenactment camp, and it's for the second week of June they have that, and it's a massive thing, it really is. They also use the fields here for car boot sales. They have a VW, camper van, etc. Show here in sometime in the summer. That's quite well attended as well, quite a size, and pretty much it really. I'm just coming back into the edge of Evesham now, so I might as well sign off. There's not much else you haven't seen before. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you want to see some more of these, please like and subscribe and go onto my channel, the Evesham Rambler, and we'll keep getting more done. I'm trying to do one a week. I know the last couple of weeks I haven't. I've been away and the weather was pretty ropey as well, so just trying to get back on track now. Spring seems to be here. Thanks for watching, take care, see you again, bye.